Hey everyone, this is James Ellers. Welcome back to the Forward United podcast. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss any episodes, and please rate us. Please rate us. Today we have Andy Dike. I've been interacting with Andy quite a bit on Twitter, so I figured we'd reach out and finally interact and talk live. So, Andy, again, thanks for joining us again. Why
Yes,
don't you tell
thank
us
you
a
for
little bit?
having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, my name is Andy DK, and I'm from Texas, and 27 years old, and I'm currently in school, and I'm majoring to be I'm majoring in sociology, and I want to be a social worker,
Okay.
probably like in a school setting or something like that. And yeah, that's pretty much a, a, a lot about me.
Yeah, for sure. What part of Texas are you in?
I'm from like the southeast, south like the northeast side of Texas. I live in Allen, so I live in Allen, Texas.
Is it outside
So
of what's it a suburb of? Is it closer to Dallas or
yeah, it's
Houston?
kind of like it's a suburb. I live in like in the suburb. It's like a suburb area, mainly a lot of houses. There's a few like malls and stuff, but
Okay.
just a lot of houses.
Okay. And it's outside
Yeah.
of Houston or Dallas? Which one is it closer to?
It's closer to Dallas.
Okay, I've heard of Allen. We lived in Houston for a year, so
Oh,
I
yeah,
like
oh,
Texas.
okay,
I
okay.
miss I miss Bucky's.
Yeah.
So we've been interacting a lot online. Obviously, you're
Yes, yes,
Andrew Yang supporter. Now, my question
yes.
is: so before this past year, before Andrew Yang, were
Mhm.
you politically engaged at all?
Not as much, but I was strongly a Democrat. I liked in 2016. I voted for Hillary, but I didn't really like her. But
Right,
I only voted for her just to keep Trump out of office,
right.
and obviously that didn't really. We all know how that turned out, and
Yeah, and it's
yeah,
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 it was two not great choices, and I think
yeah. It
that's
was yes. I really it was some terrible choices
yeah,
for Trump,
exactly.
but.
So, and that I don't think it would have gone well either way. um,
Yeah, yeah.
but
Oh, of course not.
and I think that's a common thing with people that are Yang supporters. Like, hey,
Yeah,
let's actually give people an option that they can be excited about, right? Um,
exactly, exactly.
so over the
Very true.
past, yeah, for sure. So over the past year, how have your political views changed between since you said the last election between then and now? How have they changed?
Hmm. Uh-huh. Well, it's changed a lot. Like since October. I mean, when I first heard about Yang, I heard it from one of my friends. His name is Caleb Torres, and he said we just talked, and he just talked about Yang. And when I was just hearing him, just while I was talking with him, after the talk, I went over and watched one of his videos, watched one of Andrew Yang's videos on YouTube, and I was so hooked. I remember the first video I watched, and it was The Breakfast Club with one of the guys over there, and
Yeah,
I was just so hooked from then on, and just meeting the Yang gang and seeing everything, and just seeing everything about Andrew Yang. It got me really hooked.
that's awesome. So
Yeah.
was there anything specific that he said that really really resonated with you? Like, was there something specific that it clicked, or like just tell me about what was it that he was
Yeah,
saying that appealed to you?
yeah, it's just I think what really appealed to me was just his UBI. I think his UBI was pretty much was a big thing for me. I mean, come on, just like 1K a month, just getting 1K a month for free. It's pretty awesome, you know. That could really help a lot of people who are going through um, hard stuff or trying to pay the bills and everything. So I think so I'm pretty. I think that just his UBI it was something
That's awesome.
that really brought
Yeah,
me. got me interested in him.
Yeah, especially in
So,
Texas. Can you? I mean, imagine how far $1,000 a month would go in Texas, where everything's
exactly.
pretty affordable.
Exactly.
Affordable. I mean, I'm back in California, and I mean, when I was in Texas,
Uh,
the gas price got under $2 at one point, and
oh
right now
gosh.
it's like almost $4. so,
Exactly.
I mean,
Yeah, it's so expensive.
yeah, so $1,000 a month would go a long way. And I mean, on the same note, like the video of engineering that I first watched or listened to was Joe Rogan. So all of it, like, he's super smart. It all sounded really good. One of the main things that resonated with me is that he's talking about mental health a lot more than pretty much any other candidate. In a time where, if you actually looked at the statistics, the most common unnatural cause of death used to be car accidents, and now it's overdoses and suicide. And there's reasons behind it, right? It's you look at the workforce participation rate. Like, the unemployment rate is wrong. Like, I don't care what anybody's saying. It's bullshit. The workforce,
for sure.
You know what I mean? Like, 3%, really, you're not fooling anyone. The workforce participation rate is around 63%. So it's almost 40% of people aren't even in the workforce. Then the people that are in the workforce, 40% are underemployed. So everybody's struggling. Not everybody, obviously. I don't want to generalize, but a large population of us are struggling. And the thing is, if you don't know these statistics, you really internalize it, right? So that's something, I mean, because I graduated high school in 2007. So I was pretty much getting out. I come from a working class family. I didn't really have like a college fund or anything like that. So I went straight into the workforce right when the recession was hitting. So from then to now, you know what I mean? It's been it's rough for younger people. And again, if you don't know that a lot of these things are trends, then you tend to blame yourself for a lot of these things. Like, what the hell am I doing wrong? Like, and then yeah, and that leads to the that's why so many people have depression. That's why so many people have anxiety. That's why that's why all these different statistics are relevant. And it sucks because most people are disengaged, so they don't hear these things, so they're still internalizing. So that's what resonated with me. I mean, obviously he has a ton of really good policies, but I legitimately feel like it's a message that everybody needs to hear and needs to just listen to those numbers. Just like, hey, if you're struggling, like, it's not just you. Like, it is a system-wide issue that we're trying to fix. So kind of leads to the next question. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate the treatment of individuals in our society today?
Wow, I gotta say, I would say around like a 4 or 5. I feel like we can definitely do better to with the treatment of individuals. I always have this thing where it's do unto others as they do unto you. So it's like, so it's basically just like if you want people to treat you with respect, then treat them with respect too, and that's what I try to and that's what I try to do, like here on Twitter, and just not only on Twitter but everywhere, just to try and I think we need to treat people more with respect and really hear them out on their views and hear what they have to say.
I completely agree. And I feel like between people, like people to people, like you to me, like people on the street, I think the level of treatment amongst ourselves isn't horrible. If you look at the treatment of individuals in reference to government or advantages given to a society, I think that's where we need a lot of improvement, right? I mean, if you look at like what we're trying to do with UBI is to give people an advantage in society. So one of the core values of universal basic income and just basic income is that in a modern society, for a modern society to function properly, the advantages that the society or government are able to give needs to go to the less fortunate first.
Right.
Does that make sense? So
Right. Totally.
somehow it's kind of backwards, right? So
Mhm.
we have these oil and gas companies getting a ton of government subsidies, like literally
Right.
billions of dollars in government subsidies. We
Right.
have the wealthiest class of not only, individual Americans and but corporations as well that are getting these huge tax cuts.
Right.
Where Amazon profits $11 billion in 2018 and pays zero in taxes. Netflix,
Yeah.
multi-million-dollar, I don't know if they're $1 billion company, they probably are, but
Yeah.
probably $1 billion company.
Right.
Netflix, their regular plan is like $12 a month,
Right.
and
Right.
that $12 a month monthly plan is more than they paid in taxes.
Yes. It's,
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
and
It's
these
amazing.
are just,
You know,
it's insane. Like,
it's
and
crazy.
these are.
Mm. Hey James, I think I got you on mute.
Okay.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
How long was I on mute? I'll have it.
Geez, I'm not even sure. Like a few seconds or a few minutes.
Okay.
It wasn't that long.
All right. Well, this is the other thing. Let me make a note. 11.
Okay.
This is the good thing about recording it because I can go back and edit that out.
Okay.
So let me review that part. So again,
Okay.
back to my point. Advantages in a society need to go to the less fortunate, right? So instead of Netflix and Amazon getting they're not tax cut, they're government subsidies, they're government they're government handouts, right? So instead of going to the $1 billion and the billionaires first, $1 billion companies, billionaires first, they need to go to the less fortunate. And that's where we come in and saying, hey, we need these companies to pay taxes. They're avoiding taxes. And the only way to have them actually pay their fair share is through a VAT, a value added tax, where actually, they're paying taxes based on consumption and it's through their every part of their business versus right now it's very easy for them to avoid. So we need to do that anyway. And then take that money and reinvest it in our people, right?
Exactly.
And that's the it is a paradigm shift. It's something where it's not easily digestible in one sitting. Like you need repetition. You need to hear it multiple times for it to really resonate. And that's where we are right now.
For sure.
So
you really need to get it out there.
Yeah, and that's it's going the right direction. And again, we just need to keep up these conversations because again, it's in marketing. If you're selling something, it takes someone. You have to see like a logo or a product 7 times before you even start noticing it subconsciously.
Right.
So if you look at everything we're trying to do, like it's so much higher level than that. So we just need time. So that's my rant for today.
Hell is.
And we're rolling. So what is one thing that you would consider a major problem in our society?
Well, geez, right now I think it's just the divide in just the divide. I mean, there's so much division in society. And just people not really getting the message across. I think it's just there's not that much unity among us, and I think that we really need to stop all this negativity and the dividing of people, and blacking out people when they have something really reasonable to say. So I really think it really goes down to like division and dividing.
Yeah,
we really need to like start uniting people together.
Yeah, definitely. So what do you think is one of the causes of people being so divided right now?
I think it really goes up to the top. It really goes up to to our Congress, and goes up to Donald Trump and everything, and what he does and everything. So I think I really think it's just people not wanting to like sit down and actually hear each side. So I think it really goes up to the top, like to the ones who are running the country.
Yep, I agree. And
Yeah.
it's literally, I really think it's something that it's just strategy. Like, hey,
Right.
let's, if they get together and start actually talking and figuring it out, then, we're not going to be in power
Right.
for much longer. But
Exactly.
if we keep it super polarized, and it's actually something called hypernormalization. Have you ever heard that term before?
No.
So it's actually a tactic used by Putin in Russia a lot. Surprise, surprise. So it is something where you put anything and everything out there. Doesn't matter if it's true or not. Just make it just as crazy as possible. Just
Right.
There's a coronavirus. There's a impeachment process. There's an election.
Right.
There's so many things out there at once that
Right.
when there is some actual corruption going on, it doesn't seem as crazy because you're comparing them to all these other insane, crazy things that are out there, including a lot of the polarization with the political parties, right? Because right now, it's just like really, really angry people on the right, and then really, really angry people on the left. And
exactly.
I feel like what we were trying to do, and we are trying to do, with following Andrew Yang and supporting him, was saying, hey, it doesn't have to be a fight. Like we don't have to be pitted against each other. And that's I feel like that's one of the things that frustrated all of us when he suspended his campaign. Not just, it makes sense because it does take a lot of money to run a campaign, especially running into Super Tuesday. You're gonna try to.
You're muted again.
No, I got it.
Okay.
I accidentally hit my space bar. Apparently, my space bar mutes it. But to run into Super Tuesday, and you're going to go into states like California and Texas, and try to market in those states, like they're basically countries. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, true.
Like Texas is so big. Like, do you know that?
It is.
I heard a stat the other day. Like El Paso, Texas, is closer to Los Angeles than it is to Houston. Like that's insane.
It is.
So for Andrew Yang to go in there, first time candidate, I don't blame him for, we're getting started, and it takes a lot of money, and that's unfortunately again, I'm running for Congress, and it's the same thing out here. Like unfortunately, money runs politics right now. Like I'm running against a couple people that have raised like $500,000 each so far, and that's the last time I checked. It's probably a lot higher right now. So it's like, okay, how do you compete with that? And that's what we're working on right now. So March 3rd comes around, I'll figure out what the results are and where we did well and need to improve. But that's something where we're playing a game where money rules politics. We need to get money out of politics, and then it wouldn't be as difficult to get these people in there. And that's where I oppose not Bernie, Bloomberg so much.
He's right.
It's setting a precedent, like saying, hey, we can only elect billionaires.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it is something we need to avoid with like the plague. Like some people, like him for whatever reasons. A few people, not too many, thankfully.
Yeah. Oh, geez.
But again, it's like, hey, if we want to have like normal people running for office and actually getting into office, we can't keep putting billionaires in there just because they can buy ads.
Right.
And I think that would go back to the original point of people getting along with each other and treating each other fairly. You know what I mean? If we had ranked choice voting, if we had democracy dollars, then people can support whoever they wanted, not just whoever's on one party or another. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
So that's
So
there's so many there's so many different policies like that,
right.
like UBI democracy dollars, ranked choice voting, like
Hmm.
there's so many
You
different
know,
things we need worked on.
yeah.
So
There's just so many great policies from him.
yeah, yeah, and that's
Right. Right.
yeah. Again, that's the frustrating part. With again, it's frustrating that he dropped out. I understand it, and this
Yeah.
is why we need to have more conversations like this. We need to get our people out
Right.
there
Right.
talking, just so more people can hear it and it resonates with it, right?
Right.
Um,
Right.
so we're going the right direction. I'm excited. So
Yes. Yes. Yeah, me too. I'm really excited for this movement and what we're doing here. We got some great people who are yourself who are running, and that's going to keep the movement forward. He really started a good movement, and you know what? We have 4 more years to go. You know.
yeah, and that's the it's a little frustrating because
Yeah.
this political year is going to be, for lack of a better word, a shit show. Just
Yeah.
because
Oh, most definitely.
you have a
Most
president
definitely.
that's in office, and
Right.
because he's in office, there's some loophole in a law saying that he can't be prosecuted for a few different things because he's president. So
Right.
he's literally fighting to not be prosecuted. So he's going to do anything
Right.
and everything to not
Right.
lose that race. And then on the other side, like
Right.
I really think Bernie will get the nomination, which is fine.
Hmm.
I like Bernie. I think he's out of everybody that's in there, he's probably the best candidate that's still running.
Right. Right.
Um, but then you also have his side that are also very energetic and angry,
And
and
yeah.
you know what I mean. Like it's just again, I feel like a lot of the things we were trying to do with Andrew Yang was saying, hey,
Mm.
we can beat Donald Trump and it won't be like a war. Like it won't be this crazy smear
Right.
campaigns on
Right.
either side. You know,
Right.
we can do this and it can be peaceful, right?
Right. For sure.
Unfortunately, there wasn't enough time to make that happen this year.
Right.
So
Right.
we need to stay organized amongst ourselves, stay, humanity first, and,
Right.
still work to make progress.
Right.
While staying out of the craziness that's not stay out of it. See, here's the thing, like we have to be involved in the process, right? But we just can't
Right.
stoop to their level, right? We need
No.
to,
Oh, dude. For sure. For sure.
and
For sure.
that's what we're trying to do. I think we're going in the right direction. So
Right. Yeah.
again,
Yes. Yeah. For sure. I feel like, dude. I feel the same way. I feel like we are going the same direction. I mean, it's going to be hard, but you know what? We're on the right path so
right.
far.
Well, no,
Right.
exactly. And that's like, I want everybody to remain politically engaged because it's important.
Hmm.
Not only
Right.
just to stay informed, but also just to learn about what everything that's going on so that we could
Right.
take it to the next race, right?
Right.
If,
Exactly.
Yang runs
Exactly.
again, we need to learn from this race and the previous
Hmm.
elections
Right.
of what we can do better. And I think organization is a really big thing
Exactly.
because we had so many people running around just trying to, just trying to, get their face out there that we didn't really make
Right.
as
Right.
much of an impact.
Right. Right. Right.
And that's something we're working on. So it's all good. But again, everybody,
Yes.
like if you're hearing this, stay politically engaged. Like even if it's frustrating, don't get in the weeds and don't
Yes.
get
For
dirty.
sure.
Like
For sure.
because we know it's gonna happen, right? We know how
Yeah.
Trump
Oh no. For
plays.
sure. Yeah.
Like he's literally trying to say like, oh, the Russians are helping Bernie, even though we all know that's bullshit.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes. Oh,
you know what I
dude.
mean? Like you
Oh
release that story
gosh.
the day before the Nevada election. Like, come on.
Right. Please.
Just take
Miss
a
me
step
with
back.
that bullshit right there.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Like just take a
Yeah.
step back, look at everything from an objective angle, and then go from there. Like,
Right.
don't get caught up in
Right.
the craziness. So,
Right.
so Andy, is there anything that you're working on or building right now, or wanting to build, or work on right now? Any products that we can help you out with?
Not really, to be honest. I mean, I had this thing in mind of when Andrew Yang was to get elected and we would
Right.
get UBI,
Yep.
that I would work on a business where I could help other people who are disabled
Right.
get where they want to go. So
Right.
it's kind of like Uber, but for wheelchairs, but
Ooh,
for
that's smart.
disabled people.
There's
Yes.
nothing like that right
So,
now.
huh?
There's nothing right like that right now, is there?
No, no, not. There's really nothing like that.
Wow.
There's really not. There's nothing like that right now. So, I mean, so I think it'll be. I think it's. I think it. That's why I want to. That's why I want to build. I want to build like more like something that would help. That would
Yeah.
help. That would help wheelchair. That will help people in wheelchairs.
Yeah,
That will
absolutely. I
help
mean,
people in
that's
wheelchairs go in from place to place.
yeah, that's a really good
Yeah.
idea. I mean,
Yeah.
I think you should still work on, planning that out, building what you
Right.
can.
Right.
And then, I mean, anyone who listening to this, I mean, that's a really good idea.
Right.
Again, his name's Andy Dike. I'll link everything, but because I
Yes.
mean, that's a really good idea, and that's something I feel that is very needed. And I mean, come on, think about Uber, how needed that was, simple idea, and how much it blew up. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
something like that is really smart. And I think you should still
Yes. Thank you
pursue
so
that
much.
however you can. Yeah, I mean, that's
Yes.
smart, man. I like it. I like it.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I mean, and again, I mean, Yang Gang and just everybody in general that that are we interact with are really smart people, and we have a lot of
Mhm.
resources. So that might be
Oh
something
yes,
that
for
somebody
sure.
somebody listens to this, and down the road they're like, hey, we can, I have this idea that can help you out with it. So that's
Right.
something where don't let, and again, goes with us as well as Yang Gang in general, just because Ying's out and the freedom dividend thing is not coming right away,
Right.
doesn't mean that we can't do these things, right?
Right. Right.
Um,
For sure. For sure.
we still need to
For
be moving
sure.
in that direction, advocating for UBI
Right.
wherever we can, and still
Definitely.
building out.
It's so important.
Yeah,
It's so
like,
important.
and it is super important to build things for yourself too. Like
Right.
just the way the economy is going, like it is really, like, it's tough to get a job and keep a job for long term.
Right.
It doesn't matter who you are. So having ideas, building businesses, building companies, being an entrepreneur is like so important right now. Like
Right.
that's a muscle like we need to exercise and get good at exercising, because the better you are at it, the better, we'll be moving forward. Right.
Right. Right. For sure.
So
For sure.
I encourage you to still, work on that. Don't let it, die with UBI not coming into play right now. Like
Yes.
that's an awesome idea.
Right. Right.
And you never know.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we have a lot of people that are super
Guys, there's
resourceful.
so many
So
career there. Yes, I've throughout the Yang Gang, there's so many creative people that want to do so many good things just to change the world, and it's so amazing and inspiring.
yeah, exactly, and that's why we need more people like you, out there
Right.
talking about your story, and
Yeah.
doing things like that. So, I mean, I appreciate that for you coming
No,
on for
thank
sure.
you. Thank you so
So,
much.
how can our audience follow and support you?
Ah man, I don't really.
Well, what's
Geez,
your
I mean, I
Twitter?
have a face. Huh?
What's your
Just pretty
Twitter?
much Twitter, pretty
What's
much
your
Twitter. I have a Facebook and Snapchat. So I just pretty much mostly Twitter, to be honest.
all
I don't
right?
really.
Mostly Twitter. What's your Twitter handle?
Oh, my Twitter handle is pretty much it's at D Hot Wheels. So I I'm not
I'll
really familiar with the whole Twitter
I'll,
handle
I'll get
thing,
it.
so
I'll get it right now.
so I
No,
don't
it's
know
all
how to
good.
like phrase it.
So it
So, but
is.
yeah, so pretty much D Hot Wheels
Yeah, that's
is
exactly with a Z. D
D
Hot Wheel with a
yeah
Z at the
D
end.
Hot
So
Wheels.
that's awesome. Let me put it on
Yes,
here. That's awesome. So again, his name's Andy DK.
Andy. Yep.
Twitter is at
Yeah.
DHOTWHEELZ.
Yes.
Right?
D
Awesome.
Hot Wheels.
D Hot Wheels. I like it.
Yes.
Uh,
Perfect.
All right, so I got that going. So D Hot Wheels, follow him, support him, reach out to him. If you have any
Yes,
ideas
for
to help
sure.
out with his business idea, that's awesome because
Yes.
that's just a smart idea in general. I mean, that's it's
Yeah.
definitely needed. So are you
Yes,
ready
definitely.
for the lightning round version? Lightning
Yes, let's do
questions.
it.
Let's do it. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different questions.
All right.
You don't have to ask super fast. You answer super fast. It's just casual. But so we'll go through it. All right.
Yes, let's go.
All right. First question: what's your favorite ice cream?
Oh man, geez, my favorite ice cream. I don't really,
See,
ice cream that much.
it's harder than you think, right? You think it's a very common
Yes,
question, but it's
yes.
like, I don't know. That's hard. That's a hard choice. When you do eat ice cream, what kind of ice cream do you prefer?
Jeez, man, probably a Sunday. I really like the Sunday.
Yeah, that's
Probably. You
smart.
see, for me, it's like I normally when I go to Brahms, I'm always ordering like a chocolate milkshake.
See,
So
I'm the same way.
that's the thing with me. However, huh?
I do the same thing. I'm the
Big
same way.
yeah, that's pretty much what I do. I just order myself I just order myself like a chocolate milkshake and stuff. So or vanilla milkshake. So I don't really do like ice cream a little bit. Like probably like a Sunday,
Yeah,
probably.
yeah. I'm more of a milkshake guy too. Actually, now
Yes.
that you say that, for sure. All right. Um, name someone you would consider a role model.
Oh man, I'm definitely gonna have to say my mom. I mean, she's definitely a strong woman, and she's one of the reasons because she's a counselor. She's a counselor herself, so she's one of the reasons why I want to be a counselor. I'm
That's
kind of like
awesome.
a social worker
Yeah,
in a way. So I definitely had to say my mom for sure.
that's awesome. I was going to ask you earlier. I forgot.
Mm,
Like what makes you so your mom's a counselor, you want to help out with that, and then
mm,
you want to
mm.
be a counselor for in a high school for younger people.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking like, yeah, like high school or more elementary kind of
Okay.
field, So I want to do like more elementary work and just work with kids and stuff. I feel
Yeah.
like that's where I'll be more comfortable at. So
Yeah.
so more like elementary, middle school type.
Yeah, for sure. That's awesome. And you're working on pursuing that, long term right now.
Yes, yes, for sure. I'm currently right now like I'm in a community college right now, but I'm trying to
Okay.
move up and transfer over to a university so I can continue my goal to being a social worker.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
community colleges are smart, honestly, with the way
Yes, it is
with
definitely.
how
And you,
expensive universities are right now. Like, milk the
gosh,
community college as much as you can, and then
gosh, oh my god, for sure. Because it's like I don't know, like I think your class is like close to $1,000. It's crazy,
yeah,
you know.
yeah, it's pretty
It's
nuts. So milk that.
crazy.
You're on the right path. You're doing
Yes.
awesome with that for sure.
Yeah.
Would you rather have more time or more money?
Oh my gosh. Jeez. I feel like I feel like it's a little bit both,
Right.
but I'm kind of leaning towards more time.
Yeah.
Just like I want to, man. There's some people that I've lost in my past, and
Right.
I just want to, So I just always think, man, what if I spend more time with them, and
Yeah.
just I think there's more time to do stuff, and
Yeah.
more time to spend with people, So I
Yeah.
think I would lean more with more time.
Yeah, for sure. I would too. So
Also, more money is always good too.
yeah, but I feel like
Mm.
if I had more money, I would just be using it to have more time. You know what
Yes,
I mean?
yes,
Like that's
that's a good way of putting it.
right. Like
Mm.
that's one of the big appeals that a lot of people had with have current with UBI is that
Right, right.
if you had a little more money, then you would have a little more time to do what you want and what your passion is, right? So
Right, exactly. More time to build up your business, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, business, family, and just whatever your passion is, for
Right.
sure.
Right.
What is a book you would recommend and why?
Jeez. Well, right now I'm still reading War on Normal People. So I really recommend people to read Andrew Yang's book, War on Normal People. So
How do you like it? How do you like it so far?
What? Yeah, huh?
How do you like the book so far?
Oh my gosh, it's amazing. It really has you woke, You really learn a lot of things that you didn't know happened,
Yeah.
So, with AI and everything and everything. It's an amazing book. It
Yeah, it's
really is.
awesome.
But I'm still trying to read it. I'm still
Yeah.
trying to continue reading it. So
Yeah, for sure. That's awesome. It's basically
yes.
like a manual for his campaign. Like
Right,
everything he talks
right.
about in his campaign is in his book, but in way more detail too.
Right, exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
it's awesome. It's
Really.
sitting right behind me, actually. Um, and then last question: who would you nominate to come on the podcast?
Oh my gosh. You
Uh,
already know it has to be Andrew Yang.
oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
You're right.
we need to get Andrew Yang on your podcast.
We
Him and
do.
Evelyn.
Yeah,
Huh?
that'd be awesome. I
Yeah.
completely
Yes,
agree. That's a
it'll
great
be
answer.
really awesome. I think that'd be big. That'd be really big.
Well, I had to get the important people in first. I got you in, so now
Hey,
we can
yeah.
move on to Andrew Yang.
Yes.
Awesome, man. Well, yeah, I mean it's been awesome talking to you.
Dude,
Like
it's been I'm so glad that you were able to get me on the show. It's a huge honor. It's a really huge honor to be on your show.
yeah, no, I mean you're awesome. I mean you do a lot, so I appreciate you coming
You're
on.
more awesome, Ellers.
Nah,
You're
I'm all
more
right.
awesome.
I
Yeah.
appreciate it. I'm all right though.
You're not all right. You're the best.
I thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. We will do this again soon.
Yes, for sure.
For
For
sure.
sure.
We'll
For
keep
sure.
interacting wherever we can.
Yes. Yes.
So that's awesome. So I think you're doing really well. I think you should keep, where you can pursue, that business, keep pursuing that counseling.
Yes.
So you're moving
Thank
in
you
the right
so much,
direction. So
Ellers. Thank you so
again,
much.
for sure, just keep moving forward. So again, my name is James Ellers. I am with Andy Dike today. You could
Yes.
follow Andy on Twitter at D Hot
Yes.
Wheels with a Z.
Yes. Hot Wheels in the Z.
Hot Wheels with a Z. That's awesome.
Yes. 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 And I just want to encourage people to vote for James Ellers. He's the guy. He's the man. Ellers, 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 Ellers.
I appreciate that. Yeah, the election's in like it's in 8 days, and I'm trying to stay busy with other stuff.
Right.
Like obviously campaign stuff and just other projects in general, just to not
Right.
be anxious because yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that can be nerve wracking, Jeez.
Little bit.
Mm.
So we'll see. So again, thank you, Andy, for coming on. Thank you, everybody, for listening. If you
Thank you for
haven't yet,
having me.
yes, absolutely.
Yes.
We'll do this again soon.
Yes, for sure. For sure.
Yeah, it was
sure.
awesome having you. So we will talk to y'all pretty soon. If you haven't yet, please subscribe and rate this podcast, and we will be back soon. Thanks, Andy, again for coming on.
Yes, thank you.
No problem. We'll be back.
Yes. All right.